My name is Rich Holznick. I'm a candidate for School Board District 4. I'm doing this for one reason and one reason only. It's for the kids. It's for our children. I believe that children are a heritage from God, and I believe that they need they're the hope and the future of our nation. They need to be protected. I believe I am uniquely qualified for this position on school board. Number one, I'm a 28-year combat veteran. I flew airplanes for the Navy, over 5,000 hours in conflict areas all over the world. Number two, I come from a family of teachers. My mom and dad were public school teachers. My wife was a public school teacher. Both sisters, a brother. Between my immediate family and my in-laws, we're talking 10 public school teachers. I know the challenges. I know the rewards. Number three, I have 4 children that are graduates of the Escambia County public school system, K through 12. And I did it as a widowed single parent. So I know the challenges of single parenthood, and I know how to help kids perform at an elite level in the public school system. I'm talking Hall of Famers, scholar athletes, Fulbright future scholars, all state this and all state that. I know how to do it. And also I've been as involved as any person, any parent in Escambia County in the last 2 decades. I stand on that without equivocation. Volunteer of the Year, started dad's clubs, coached the whole time my kids were growing up. I've been engaged. Time is whittling down. I'll defend our children like I defended the nation. And I'll put military eyes on target on local problems. Like I did while I was in the military, I would be an asset to this school board. I hold a conservative biblical worldview, and I look forward to working in the trenches like I've been doing. In fact, today is a school board night. This is the first night in 18 months that I have not been at a school board meeting. I've been in the trenches. I go to school board meetings, okay? It's another thing that distinguishes me from some of the other candidates here.
Okay. Hey guys, first of all, thanks for having me come out tonight. My name is Earl McCauley, and I'm also running for District 4 School Board. It was fascinating listening to the group before us, the commissioner candidates, talking about some of the things where schools do interlay with some of the things and the issues going on with the county commission. One of the biggest is to keep people here. So if young people, young professionals especially, want to move to Pensacola, we have to have schools that can accommodate them, and we want the schools to be as good as they possibly can be. I'm a 22-year veteran school teacher. I'm the current, or I guess last year's Teacher of the Year at Gulf Breeze High School. I've been a Pensacola News Journal Coach of the Year for boys lacrosse 4 of the last 6 years. I stopped coaching after last year, and it lets me do crazy things like run for school board. I've taught in 4 different states at 6 different high schools. I've taught inner city Memphis. I've taught at Gulf Breeze High School, Chapel Hill High School, and various and other sundry places. I've seen what works, I've seen what doesn't work, and I know the issues that are going on. In terms of things to work on, I think we've got 3 major issues going on. One, and this is going to be a national problem, teacher retention. Anything that doesn't talk about teacher retention is going to be remiss. And it's not just pay. There's some things that we can do that don't require redoing the entire budget for the world. One of them is something called a stay interview. We have something else where we can do micro certifications where a teacher can go get, for example, an ESOL certificate and then come in. We can pay them for these things, and it will make them much more happy and more likely to stay. If you don't know this, teachers in Florida, pretty much across the state, get a raise after 11 years. So tier 0 and year 11 get paid the same thing. Then you go up about $200. It's insanity. So the other thing, and the reason I actually got involved with the race, involved the books. I'm a literature teacher. I'm the sponsor of the Literature Club. I teach AP English, and my pass rate's around a 97%. And that's a hard test. Anyway, we have about a 47% reading pass rate in Escambia County, and we talk about closing libraries and getting rid of books. Those things are not congruent. So we have to bring children to books, children to the libraries, and children have to be reading. And sort of like what my friend Rich here said, I've been involved. I also have 4 highly functioning children that are graduates of Escambia County, also student athletes and all of these things. I started a dad's club. Rich and I have quite a few things in common, to be honest. I haven't driven a plane ever, though. I will give you this nugget, because I'm about to run out of time. A child will not know how much you know until they know how much you care. It's a bumper sticker, but it's a pretty daggum good one. And so I will represent the kids with passion, enthusiasm, and integrity as much as I possibly can.
Good evening. My name is Caress Bargosh, and I am going to be your next school board member of District 4. I'm running for candidate. I'm from Pensacola. I think Walker had mentioned earlier about the Pensacola pilgrimage. Well, I did that, but I first went to schools here, graduated from PJC, formerly PJC, now PSC, on a scholarship, went to UWF, and then went to, I went on a pilgrimage to, my husband joined the Marine Corps, so we went to Memphis, Tennessee. I taught there for a few years, and then I got a graduate degree in counseling services. And then from there, I went to Okinawa, Japan, and Virginia. But came back to Pensacola and was able to spend some time in the Escambia County School District. I've also been a PTA mom, a director of a mentoring program, and very much so that I'm also a member of the school board. I was fortunate enough to be selected and chosen by the former governor to replace a sitting board member on the emergency vacancy. So I have the experience, not only the experience of working on some of the same issues that are still going on. We need to make sure that we are doing that. Let me look at my notes, I'm sorry. Discipline. That's one of the major issues. I'm in schools on a daily basis, and I talk to parents and teachers every day about discipline, what we can do. I have a plan to what are some things that we can do to help improve that. The number one concern also is bullying. We know that bullying is a major issue with mental health, and so we want to go ahead and try to focus on that. I have been not only 3 decades of experience as a teacher, but I'm also a mom. My boys are now graduates of Escambia County Schools, and I'm very proud of them. I would like to, just like the governor trusted me and chose me, I'm asking you to trust me and choose me for Escambia County School District Board. Thank you.
My name is Brian Ranelli, and first, of course, I want to thank Pensacola Young Professionals and the Chamber for having us here this evening. Unfortunately, I'm about 3 years from aging out of joining Pensacola Young Professionals, but I am a member of this year's Leadership Pensacola class, and I promise to do you well. Again, my name is Brian Ranelli, and I'm proud to be a lifelong native of Pensacola, Florida.
When I took over R.C. Lipscomb Elementary School, it was an average elementary school. When I left it 10 years later, it was a 5-star A school with the highest test scores in the state and nation. People were coming from all over to see what we were doing. We had 47 business partners in education. We had 23,000 volunteer hours. And when I say a school had come to life, it had come to life. I then retired and became a math coach after I stayed home a year. I was a math coach at Bellevue Elementary, teaching teachers to teach a new math program, which modern math and I, being an old-timer, didn't get along too well. But anyway, I went from there. The superintendent asked me, would I go out to O.J. Sims Elementary School to see if I could turn that school around. They were a double F, like Warrenton was. The state was about to take it over. And I had 7 months to do it. And I sat down at my desk and I said, we got to have a plan, and we got to have a plan that works now. And it's all on me. So I developed that plan, we implemented, and 7 months later, that school was turned from a double F to a C. And we'll repeat that, 7 months. You can count on this hand how many people in the state of Florida have done that. I'm a proven educational leader. I love the Escambia County School District. I want to continue to be an integral part of it. I want to be your board member, and I want to bring that skill set that I have to the board to make the Escambia County School District the best it can be for boys and girls. I have one motto: is this what's best for the boys and girls that's placed in our care? And I'll carry that motto to the board. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joshua Luther. I'm running for school board in District 5 because I wanted to offer a biblical worldview. The world is broken, and we're all here because we're looking for solutions to that brokenness. God is a good and gracious God, and he provided for the brokenness of our world in the form of 4 institutions of government. The first is self-government, family government, church government, and finally, civil government. Each individual has the responsibility to read the Word of God and to apply it to his life. The family is the department of welfare, healthcare, and education. The church's mission is to bring the nations into obedience to Christ the King. You can read Psalm 2 to find out a little bit more about that. And then finally, the church's role is to punish the evildoer and to praise those who do what is good. In a body, there are many parts. Each part has its own function, and it's good at the things it's made to do. Hands are very good at picking up tacks. Eyeballs, not so much. You're gonna have to trust me on that one. I want to take an example from the Bible. When Nehemiah was rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, he had his men out there, and they had a trowel to rebuild the wall, and they had a sword to protect their work from enemies. Individual self-government, family government, and church government is that trowel which we build God's kingdom. The government is a sword by which we protect our labors from those who hate Christ our King. I'm advocating that we stop using that sword in the place of a trowel. If the trowel's broken, let's fix it. The answer is Christ and his gospel. Let's use the sword for the defense, and instead of trying to use the sword to slap mortar and lay bricks, let's go back to God's word, fix that trowel, and we'll be a whole lot better off than we have been trying to fix everything with a sword.
I'm Jim Taylor. I'm running for school board in District 5. I think if you probably looked up in the dictionary a picture of an old coach, you'd probably see my picture there. Well, I'm the one up here who's taught everything from theater arts to advanced science. I was a state master teacher. I have 5 current teaching certifications. I have been all over this county with the last several years of my career as a school social worker for the north end of the county. I made sure children had food, clothing, and shelter. I worked a lot with Carissa with the NAS Christmas party to make sure children had gifts. I worked with the Commissioner Ragash when he was on the school board to make sure things were done. I didn't just start attending school board meetings because I'm running for the school board. I went to them while I was an employee and offered ideas, find out what was going on, see what we can make it better. I also worked with Judge Burgash when he was on the board, and he and I came up with some pretty good plans. And I'll have to tell you, one time I was in a pickle because I had the school board wanting me to give a presentation and the superintendent not wanting me to give a presentation. So since I was an employee, I had to go sit down. But we're not going to quit. We're going to make sure this is the best school system in the state. Now, recently got recognized by Don Gates at the Republican Executive Committee meeting. And the reason he recognized me there was when he was a board member for Okaloosa County and then he ran for superintendent, I got to hang around with him. I got to talk to him. I got to pick his brain. And I saw what he did for Okaloosa County. He turned it in from a mediocre school system, which is what we have now at best. When you're 57 out of 67, that's not good. That wouldn't have worked when I was coaching. So I listened to what he said, I watched what he did, and we can do some of those same things in Escambia County school system. We don't have to be in the bottom 10. We're going to be in the top 10. And you're not going to do that by doing the same things you've always done. If you keep putting the same type middle management in there, the same type people who stuck in the mud, do the same thing. You know, one of the definitions of stupid is if you do the same thing over and over and expect different results. You're not going to get different results. You're going to get the same mediocrity that you got. Now, I got 3 little grandbabies. I know some of y'all have grandchildren, but I'm the only one got grandbabies, okay? And they mean the world to me. And I have led this charge against the dirty books. I have spoken out repeatedly against them. I've even been recognized by the county commission on numerous occasions for my work with young people and coaching teams outside the school system as well as teams in the school system. We have got to have somebody that not only understands the academics and the personnel aspects of it, but the extracurricular aspects. There is nobody in here in the running for District 5 that has the extracurricular experience that I have. I've won championships in 4 different sports at 2 different levels. And I promise you, I will not be a desk jockey. All my career, I've been out in the field, hands-on. And I promise you I'll continue to do that in District 5 as your school board member. Thank you.